Once again, we welcome Brian Kelly, Notre Dame head football coach, back to the program. And Brian, as you guys get back to campus and we have an eye on the fall, I'd love to talk some football. But given what's going on in our country in these last couple of weeks, and given the young men that make up your team, I'm very interested in the conversations that you and your coaches have had with your players and what type of dialogue you all have had.
Well, it started with getting everybody together and giving them the platform to speak about, what had transpired. And certainly there was a lot of pain. There was a lot of confusion. And I think at the outset, it's important to get those young men together and let them be heard. But, we failed. I failed as a leader in my platform to make any kind of change that was necessary for to not let something like this continue to happen. So we've got to be there for these young men, and we've got to provide them the opportunity, and we've got to take it further. It can't just be talk. It's got to be action on my part, our coaches, and allowing our players too.
I've had conversations with Damian Woody, my colleague here, about the locker room. My guy Stanford Steve shared it well about just what the dynamic is like. You can have very frank, as they'd explained it to me, conversations where you don't always get along and maybe you're not from the same background. But I'm wondering, Brian, if in this time, if you feel like maybe for the first time, people that might not have heard a message or truly grasped it have had it land with them and resonate in a different way.
I think really, Scott, what this is about truly now is respecting each other, true love for each other. This is no longer about, what you can do for me. This is about, what we can do together. And so that cuts through everything. That you're no longer just a football player. You're a brother. And what can we do to help see through and have a conversation about racism? White men don't like talking about racism. It's a tough topic. And if you can be honest and vulnerable and be somebody that can have those kinds of conversations, then respect is going to start to show itself all over your locker room. And if you have respect, now you don't have to hang in the same crowds, but if you can get respect in your locker room amongst your players, then you're going to get a team that plays together.
It's a clumsy pivot from this real conversation that matters to football. But look, people love college football. They love Notre Dame football. And when you were a guest with me, it was March the 25th. You said if we're back by the 1st of July, back getting towards campus, getting guys back here for the safety of the players, maybe we'd have a shot. Now here you guys are working your way back to campus. Now it's early June. What's that process going to look like as you guys put your toe in the water towards trying to get back to playing?
Well, obviously all of our decisions have been driven by the health and the safety, of our football team and all those that are surrounding it. So, we didn't have a particular date. I was hoping that that July date meant that we would be up and running and that would give us a shot at something in September. But we're right on track now because we're going to be coming in. But we think now that the schedule sets up with the NCAA now being involved with putting together a back-to-play schedule, we feel like we're in good position to begin the first week in September.
Okay, this is great, and we distance ourselves, but then you're playing Navy, and it's 4th and 1, and you got guys 6 inches away from each other. Like, it's a physical game. Like, at some point, we can mitigate, but then by definition, you're going to have to be in close proximity. So I guess part of this, whatever sport we're playing, we just have to sign up for some amount of risk, and that's just how it is, right?
Well, there's going to be testing. So our football team is committed to testing. We will test weekly throughout the season. So we're going to put a football team on the field that has been tested, that's cleared. Navy's going to put a football team that's cleared and tested. So, we're going to be in, close proximity, but those kids are going to have tested prior to competition. So the challenges will be, they're college students during the week too. And so, making good decisions there is really where we're going to be challenged. And I think, quite frankly, it's on Thursday or Friday when you test and your starting quarterback has, COVID-19 and the backup quarterback got 6 reps. But we got to get on the bus and we got to go play Clemson. So those are going to be the challenges that we have as we move forward.
Yeah, forgive me for laughing at that analogy. It just felt good to smile about the idea of you having to trot a backup into a game against Clemson. But so much of life at the moment, because of this COVID-19 pandemic, is different. I mean, nothing really is the same. And so no spring ball, all the things you described. What's the actual football likely to look like, Brian?
You know, many times we talk about, football teams not looking prepared in the opener. This is going to be, making sure the playbook is very, very small and the execution is good, because you're going to have to spend a lot of time on the fundamentals.
And you're going to have to spend a lot of time telling yourself to be patient, Brian Kelly. You think you're going to be how patient are you going to be when you guys can't execute that snap? Sometimes, you get a little bit upset with your guys, right? I mean, you're going to have to be patient, Coach.
I have learned how to work that into my new vocabulary. My patience is my middle name now, Brian Patience Kelly.
Well, I'm going to make a note of that. And listen, I'm happy that you guys are back in the process of getting back, I guess I should say, and that we're all optimistic and we're all hopeful. And given the gravity of these last couple of months and these last couple of weeks, I think we're hopeful about the role sports can play in leading us back and leading us out of this. Brian, I appreciate the time as always.
Yeah, and thanks, Scott, for anchoring this and keeping sports in a place where we can have a bit of an escape for a while. And obviously you've done an incredible job of linking that for everybody. So thanks for everything you've done.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.